In this video on identifying plant species, the plant to identify comes from the genus Lygodium as determined by the phone apps. All three apps suggested that the species could be either Lygodium microphyllum, Lygodium palmatum, or Lygodium japonicum. The genus Lygodium can be identified by some general characteristics. The Lygodium genus twine and climb, which is why it was named Lygodium, from the Greek word lygodes, meaning flexible, as its rachis or stems need to be flexible to twine. Lygodium often has dissected fronds, for example, palmate, with leaflets attached to the tip of the petiole, or pinnate, with leaflets, also known as pinnules, arranged on each side of the leaf's central stalk or rachis. This genus is also distinct in its finger-like projections in fertile leaves, which bear the sporangia in two rows. Sporangia are covered by an outgrowth of the leaf lamina that looks like an indusium. Of the three possible species brought up by the phone apps as the possible identity of the sample, it was most similar to Lygodium microphyllum. Various characteristics supported the identity of the sample as Lygodium microphyllum. Firstly, the pinnae were one pinnate and oblong. Secondly, the sterile pinnules were triangular lanceolate to oblong lanceolate with entire margins, a rounded acute to obtuse apex, and a truncate, cordate, or auriculate base. Thirdly, the fertile pinnules were deltoid to lanceolate in shape. And fourthly, the veins were forked, ending in the leaf margins. Lygodium japonicum differed from the sample as the Lygodium japonicum pinnae is sometimes bipinnate and triangular in outline. Other differences are that in Lygodium japonicum, the pinnules are lobed with terminal lobes dissected, and pinnule margins are toothed or dentate instead of entire. Lygodium palmatum differed from the sample plant as the leaflets have 5 to 10 lobes arranged like a palm. In addition, the fertile portion has no leaf lamina. While the species studied appears more like Lygodium microphyllum, I decided to check if the sample could be any other species found in Malaysia, as phone app databases are sometimes incomplete. I obtained a list of Lygodium found in Malaysia and went into the details of their morphology. The species reported to be found in Malaysia are Lygodium borneese, Lygodium circinnatum, Lygodium flexuosum, Lygodium japonicum, Lygodium merrillii, Lygodium microphyllum, Lygodium polystachyum, Lygodium salicifolium, Lygodium auriculatum, and Lygodium longifolium. The sample observed was not Lygodium borneese. In Lygodium borneese, the fertile lamina is not reduced, whereas in the sample they were reduced. Also, the leaflets of Lygodium borneese have cuneate bases, unlike the sample which has truncate, cordate, or auriculate bases. The sample could not be Lygodium flexuosum as the apex of the pinnule of the sample is rounded to obtuse, unlike in Lygodium flexuosum where the pinnule apex is acute. Also, the sample leaflets are stalked with stalks about equal length, but in the Lygodium flexuosum, the distal leaflets do not have a stalk. Additionally, leaf margins in Lygodium flexuosum are serrate or crenate, while in the sample it is entire as in Lygodium microphyllum. Lygodium merrillii was eliminated as the sample as it had palmately lobed rather than unlobed leaflets, and the veins formed a network unlike the forked veins in the sample. Lygodium polystachyum was not the identity of the sample as seen by the various differences between the sample and Lygodium polystachyum. In the samples, there are 4 to 7 alternate pairs of pinnules as in Lygodium microphyllum, whereas in Lygodium polystachyum there are 10 to 15 pinnules. In the sample, terminal pinnules were bifid, unlike in Lygodium polystachyum. In the sample, pinnules were not pinnatifid as in Lygodium polystachyum. In the sample, pinnules were 1 to 4 centimeters long, much shorter than in Lygodium polystachyum. And in the sample, the basal pair of pinnules were not reduced, unlike Lygodium polystachyum. Hence, Lygodium polystachyum was eliminated as the sample. The sample could also not be Lygodium salicifolium, as the pinnules of Lygodium salicifolium are 4 to 13 centimeters long and 1.5 to 6 centimeters broad, which is much bigger than those of the sample. Lygodium auriculatum was eliminated as the identity of the sample, as the fertile leaflets in Lygodium auriculatum are not substantially reduced as seen in the sample. Lygodium circinnatum was also eliminated as the identity of the sample due to its pedato-palmate leaflets, unlike the leaflets of the sample Lygodium. Lygodium longifolium in turn was eliminated as the identity of the sample due to the deeply lobed leaflets with serrate margins not found on the Lygodium sample. I'm satisfied that the sample I have is Lygodium microphyllum. However, as we use leaf morphology to differentiate species, we must keep in mind that it has been mentioned in Flora malaysiana that Lygodium species show much variation in leaflet form due to the age of the plant and environmental conditions. For more information on morphological descriptions of Lygodium species, you may look up these references. Thank you.